WCAU here in Philadelphia.
I remember that CBS logo on the building.
Channel 6. Channel 6 again. The parking lot. The entrance.
Holiday Inn in the background.
Yeah, the Holiday Inn was there at that time. The remote truck. The TK-42 cameras, the first color cameras that they got. The back of the camera. The inside where you can see
3 tubes.
the 3 Vidicons for the RBG, and the other side was the image orthicon, 4.5 inch, which gave you your black and white outline signal. Camera control for 2 studios. Color monitors were way up out of the way, very difficult to see, but you could see the black and whites and the waveform monitors easily enough. Camera patch panel. This, I don't know which studio this was, but it was one of them. That 3 studios were in operation at that time, which are now turned into newsrooms. And you'll notice we were using boom mics. Nothing wireless at that point had come in.
Well, only Channel 3 at that time was color. I mean, Studio 3. 1 and 2 were black and white, I think.
Well, that could be. This is the lighting patch panel. Sliders, you can put any light onto any position on the console. The lighting console. The control room, looking at the TD's position in the center. The switcher. This was audio over there, an RCA console, and cart machines, and a reel-to-reel machine. And the assistant director was over here, and next to him, lighting. That's another look at the audio console with 2 turntables. This is now looking the other direction from TD's position, the director, and this is in the control room too, and audio was on the opposite side. It's pretty much wired the same. You could operate one, the other was the same. This is Max, the computer switcher in the master control room. You could see the next event coming up on this readout, and this readout was what's on air. Didn't get as much preview as what they had in New York. And of course, if you had a 3-second slide or something, you really didn't see a pre-roll on a videotape machine, because that was 7 seconds. So it was rolling while the slide was up. This is that position of master control. The manual switcher where you could take over, but most of the time you sat in the center and you just followed the log and with the keyboard made the entries. It would take, I think, 36 entries at a time, so in one break you could sometimes wipe it out. Or sometimes you even had to program while you're in a break. The switching position again. The rack room with proc amps and pulse amps. Come on, change. This is the program control room, which was a backup to the master control, not automated, fully manual, so that audio was done here, you did your switching here, and your director would sit here, and that's it. And you had 1 color monitor, which was up at the top. That's the audio position. That's the double entry switcher with what they called a cut bar here, that whatever was on the row above it, you hit the bar and it would flip the switcher. I forget where this was. This was upstairs with a film magnetic transfer area. worked with the newsroom, basically. The black and white film chain into a single black and white camera, flipped by mirrors. So a slide projector and two projectors worked into one camera. Here you can see the color chain, and there were 4 of those islands with mirror flipping. Another look at those projectors. All 16 millimeter, no 35. 35 was relegated to professionals in New York.
And no mirrors in New York, right?
And no mirrors. 2 chains did have mirrors. 35, 10 and 11. Both had a 16, a 35, and a slide projector. But all the rest were independent. This was where you could check the incoming power levels and the lines from Philadelphia Electric and the generators. Don't know why that was disabandoned. Videotape maintenance bench. Ampex video quad machines. There were 4 of those, with behind in this rack back in here was an Ampex 1000 machine with 4 racks of equipment all operated by tubes. Never used the machine much. Go on, let's go ahead. Move. Here we go. This is the videotape room. Each rack was separate to the machines adjacent to it. Waveform monitor, vector scope, patching, intercom. One of the Ampex 2000. They're classics now. This was a dumb expense that they made. The 4 tape machines could be controlled from this editing panel where you could do video editing. Nobody ever learned how to operate it, so it just sat there. We did the editing the old-fashioned way by rolling and punching.
I thought you meant razor.
No, we were past the razor blade stage, but this is master control, the patch panels for both audio and video. This over here was that PC control room. This down on this side over here was the video operator's setup. Another look at the patch panels. Rack room. From what I came from in New York, this looked like mini nothing. The test setup in the program control room. More of the racks. Maintenance shop. Nice shop. Big, plenty of room, clean. Everybody had his own set of tools. Supply cabinets were well supplied. I thought it was a nice maintenance shop. That's all I have on WCAU. While I was in New York doing video, I did video for Miss Universe in Florida at the Jack C. Gleason Theater. And that was quite an experience. It was done from TVJ's remote color truck. Everything was kind of jury-rid for just the remote. This is inside the truck with the encoder units and the patching. Switching was moved into the auditorium. So this is the video operator's position, 5 cameras. That was a lot of cameras in those days to use 5 for a major show like that, and especially when cameras would fail. These are PC-70s, and these are the consoles for the registration and color balance, or the lineup position, not the operators. This is the audio position for the show. These were all tech mixers. So you do a sub-mix and bring it into the main console here as a mix, and everything came up to patch, and these were more all-tech. 2 reel-to-reel tape machines for spots or tracks or whatever. Everything was done live. So basically it wasn't much recorded. And this was all temporary, just for the one show. That was house audio. This was a platform built just for a camera. This was the main runway here for the girls. And you can see there's one of the cameras. There's another camera here, and there's another camera over there. Yeah. And this, yeah, this was during a rehearsal. This was not during the show, but during a rehearsal I was able to do this. One camera was on a Houston crane. That was one of the main cameras. If that failed, I don't know what they would have done.
That was a key shot. You can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see this guy couldn't move much, and to get that camera up onto the crane, I don't think could have been done, because it was a live show. Maybe that one could have taken the crane's position from one of the side runways, but during the show, all of the cameramen wore tuxedos. And you can see there's the crane again, which did a lot of the big shots. And that's it for what I had in Florida. I went as third video operator because they had 5 cameras, which required two operators. And CBS's philosophy was, what if one of them got sick? Well, you know, so I was flown down there just as a backup in video.
Which one was Here's Malice? It's you have one chance in a show like that, right?
Yeah, it was live.
You got one chance.
One chance. And the very last. Now these pictures I did not take and was not part of, but I'll go rapidly. There's a lot of duplicates in these pictures. And as I scanned them from slides, I had to figure out which was upside down and which was left and right. Maybe some of them are still wrong. But this was the WCAU-TV transmitter antenna change from bow tie to a traveling waveguide, and they added some more sections to the tower. And these pictures were taken by, what was his name, in the maintenance shop, Ed Kushner. And I think these slides that we came off, somebody just recently found them in the shop. And I think these are his outtakes, not his originals. But at any rate, it gives a good idea what was happening. The basic antenna with the transmission line feeds. That was Jack Jones, the, what was he, Vice President of Engineering? Transmitter Supervisor. With one of the riggers. That's Jack Jones again at the base of the tower. One of the riggers' trucks with the jib pole. More of the rigging set up. Guy cable on a truck. When you look at it up close, it doesn't look so small. Pretty big stuff, because they had to put new guy wires in for the top part of the antenna.
Winch.
And the winch, now these pictures of the tower in some cases are just out of sequence, and I'll just switch through them quickly. There's a view of the FM antenna on the side of the tower. I don't know what height that is, and I don't know what channel or what station that is. Yep. This is climbing the ladder that's inside the tower. This is part of the way up the tower, and I think there was part of a ham station there.
Yeah.
Ham operation.
Yeah, Ed had repeaters up there.
Had repeaters, and that's what he's working on here. That's Ed Kushner and Jim Howell.
Nothing beats a high antenna without any long lead anywhere.
Yeah.
No coins on it.
Again, look at the base. I think that's the traveling waveguide antenna that's on his shoulder. Might be wrong, but I'm not sure.
Look like it.
The powered winch, that was some of the ham equipment. I don't know what elevation that was.
Looks like the base there.
Yeah, that's a good base. That's not.
That's a good shot.
I don't know what direction that is, and I don't know what tower that is that's in the middle. But we're looking down on it, so it's got to be one of the lowers. This again is at one of the platforms. I don't know what he's working on there, but this is where I think the ham installation was. Their logo. This was the drawing of what they were proposing and doing, and the elevations, which you can't read.
Base is 250 above sea.
The third level is a receiver. The other is a 60-watt transmitter, the lower level, where the red is. One of his tube layouts for that. Back to the tower itself. Another look at the tower.
Is this the same tower that was shortened?
Lengthened.
When they-
Now it's recently been shortened
Tower?
again.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, they put it back down to the original height. That was part of the deal they made with the city.
Oh, really?
To let the big one be put up.
For the candelabra
Yeah,
setup,
yeah.
yeah. For the digital
Yeah,
antennas.
so the city didn't want all those towers.
Huh, I didn't know
They
that.
put it back down.
Took the, and this part they took off again.
Yeah.
Wasn't it put down to keep the guy wire?
It was to
crossing
keep the-
road?
But the city was part of the drill though.
Yeah.
The city, I was at those hearings.
The guy wires were interfering with the new tower. Interesting.
They didn't want the guy wire
The guy
crossing
wire
the
doesn't
street.
cross the road anymore when they short.
But it still is, isn't it?
Three anchors on the other side.
PTC's managing.
I don't know which towers these are. I don't know what direction we're looking at.
If I just looked at it well, I could figure it out. A version of this one was hanging in the transmitter control room for years at the CAU site.
Oh, it was.
I've seen that picture before.
It's power winch for pulling the pieces up. Interesting piece of gear. I guess they knew that the weight of the generator and the winch was enough that it offset what they were pulling up. Because I don't think that was anchored to the ground. Base of the tower. Yeah. This is looking down, I think, at an FM antenna, or some of the transmission line anyway. This is a section of the new tower, painted before it was put up. This is on top of the studio building. Not much up there at that time, no dishes, and you could see the Holiday Inn in the background. That's the old antenna, the butterfly.
That way.
That's from the building as WCAU's studio. Those antennas, by the way, were picking up Channel 2 in New York. And that was the backup if AT&T failed with the video feed. We went to pick up the off-air signal from New York to continue. Used it a few times while I was there, too.
I still remember the Conrack receiver you used for that,
Yeah,
that big old
Yeah.
tube receiver.
yeah. Hardly working. This is part of the jib pole you can see at the top. I don't know who all of these are. Starting from the left is Bob Gross, the elderly man, I don't know who he is, and Ed Kusher's the third guy. He's the guy that took these pictures, and Jack Jones. There they are looking at the old butterfly antenna after it was removed. You can see the jib pole with another piece going up. Must have been interesting to be part of that construction. Ted Waters, the big guy. I don't know who the other on the far left, I don't know who he is. Might have been one of the riggers. Piece of the tower going up. And again, these slides, I think, are out of sequence. So you see a piece going up and you see it, next picture would be lower. It was going up, believe me, they're reversed. Yeah. I could put some of them in better order and delete some of these photographs that are just too much. The transmission cable going up the tower, that's what it's a shot of. Another transmission cable view. Another one of the cable. I don't quite know where that is.
Probably was over at Gibbsboro, where they were testing the antenna. That looks like they're racks. That's the turntable, the big turntable of RCA.
Okay.
Or one of them.
Where they did the testing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
That was RCA, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at Deptford.
That's the new traveling waveguide now finished. You can barely see guy wires up at the upper height. The lower one is easy to see. Now I got it backwards again. That's it going up. This is pieces of the tower yet to go up, so I'm working this pretty much backwards.
Sorry.
There's the antenna just about to be seated.
Did they have an aux antenna on the air at this time?
Yes, yeah.
It was on a short stick. It was pretty tough to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many days this took.
17, but their new antenna on their tower, I think it's 72 or something. They hired me to do photography for a helicopter.
Oh, really?
So I have them dropping the antenna.
I have no idea what that is.
16 millimeter.
Well, you can see the antenna is going up.
Yeah.
There's a little bit
Yeah,
cocked
just
there in the
just
middle.
like that.
Yeah, but that can't be the CAU tower. I don't think. If so, where was this picture taken from?
Well, they had a helicopter flying around.
Yeah, there were some pictures from a helicopter, that's true.
That's what that could be.
Bubba.
Winch. Come on. The transmitter building at the base, looking down. Another view of the traveling waveguide.
There it is.
Not quite assembled yet. But again, the tower to the left looks like it's taller. And I don't know what it is. It's got to be either 3 or 6, I would think. Now, Ed Kushner took some pictures of all kinds of stuff. I have no idea what it is. But stuff that he handmade. This is a modulation monitor and a frequency monitor. That much I know. But don't ask me what this is. Another view of the city, and I don't know what direction. I sat and studied these, tried to figure it out, but I couldn't. I have no idea what this is either, except it operates on tubes.
That's property of WCAU.
Looking at the inside of the tower again. I have no idea what that is.
That's one of the two-way radios. It was probably one of the sets he had in the repeater. But the other picture was also, that's the bottom.
The bottom view of it.
Yeah, they had, back then they had, everything was in pieces. Receiver was one sub-chassis, and the transmitter was another, and the power supply was a third.
You think that's part of the
Yeah, I'm
ham
pretty
stuff?
sure- Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It looks homemade.
You can see the connector in the corner.
Yeah.
I remembered working with that kind of stuff
Still do.
with a soldering iron.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's a receiver,
General Electric.
Yeah,
commercial build.
yeah.
That's looking at the FM antenna, and I again don't know what station that is. It's only 2 bays.
Would be OGL?
Probably the OGL.
They had 98.9 on it.
You move that stick.
Yeah.
Move that antenna with another stick.
I have no idea what that is
That's
either.
part of the two-way stuff. Probably the repeater control strip.
I don't know which direction this is looking at, but that can't be towards Philadelphia.
That is,
Yeah.
you're looking towards Winfield Heights around the Bellman Park area. It looks like the top of the Park Plaza. Back of it.
Could be from Holiday Inn.
No, that's not the Holiday
That's not
Inn.
the Holiday Inn.
That's one of my favorites.
This is a soundscriber.
Yeah, we all remember those.
Yeah, that would hold 24 hours of TV audio
On videotape. Yep.
on videotape. Great device. Saved the legal department many times.
Have a moving head?
No, a spinning head.
Spinning back to like a
Yeah.
videotape machine.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are
And
really
the
built-
tape inch by, so it was
Yeah.
creep, just a.
very, very
it
slowly.
tracks.
Right.
Well, you can imagine that whole spool of tape would take 24 hours.
I traded mine off. I had one for the longest time.
You got a stencil, huh?
That's the old Marriott.
Yeah, looking down at the building.
Wow.
Kona Kai, the golf building.
Yeah, memories. I don't know where that was taken from either. And another piece of ham equipment, I would guess.
That's RCA.
The RCA on the bottom, GE on the top, probably.
You guys know more about it than I do. I don't know what this is either.
It's a feed through something. It's a ceramic insulator. That's a tube.
Yeah, with a UTC transformer.
Yep.
So it must be audio. I think that's looking at the Schuylkill on the
Yeah.
expressway. Looks like some kind of a feed through with a coax connector in the middle. No idea what that is.
Were these scans from prints?
From slides.
Oh, so they're not written on the slides what they were?
No, no. He didn't do that, and they were all mixed up in 6 boxes. And it took me quite a while to scan them, and then after I scanned them, I had to flip them. Some were upside down, some left to right. And I think I got most of them right, but I'm not sure. That again is the Schuylkill. I guess this was taken from a helicopter.
Out near Roxborough.
Yeah. I know that that tower is right alongside the expressway, the other side of the river.
The current O'Neill Tower.
Yeah,
With Connolly containers.
the one that they put the Christmas tree on at the top every year, yeah. Another of the same tower and the jib pole. Piece of the tower going up,
Still going on.
yeah. A red piece instead of the white. No idea what that is, but it looks like a receiver.
That's a Motorola, because I recognize those, that's a 440 meg Motorola by those input filters on the bottom left.
Yeah.
That's a cavity, it's a four section tune cavity on the 440 band.
You got to test the plug on the.
And that was for the ham
Yeah.
operation.
All tubes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, there's a GE Crystal on the bottom of that one.
There's the helicopter.
There's the helicopter. I guess more ham stuff.
Yep.
Now I got the date from the date that's on the reel here. It looks like 69, and this was the soundscriber that was used for recording a day's broadcast. So we're figuring that this antenna change was somewhere around 68, 69.
I think when I talked to Jack, it was more like 71. The reason we got involved with the WNWR radio station, and he had given me some old records that he had, documents. And dates around 71 is my recollection of what Jack had told me.
Well, that could be, but
Yeah.
this is a picture of a soundscriber
Right.
that followed the 2-inch
Yeah. Or,
ham.
yeah.
That would be the same thing, more ham
Yeah.
stuff. Another view of the city. This must have been from the helicopter
That could be the view from the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
or the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, see that little balcony there?
Yeah, okay, that was from the Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn at a rooftop restaurant on the 23rd floor of the Empire Room.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
far to the left, though.
But notice what's on the roof of the CAU building. Nothing there.
Yeah.
Those two Yagi antennas, that was basically it.
City Avenue, by the way, was a two-lane highway, one in each way.
Saks Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, that's Saks, that would place, that's probably from the Holiday Inn again.
I don't know. 'cause it
No,
looks
it's
like
the
shot-
other way.
Back it up.
Yeah, it looks like it was shot through, because if you look at the corners,
That's Saks Fifth
Shot through a
Avenue.
window.
You're looking at Saks Fifth Avenue in the foreground with some of the office complexes.
Well, the building that we're in right now is this building right here.
Yeah.
So WCAU would be somewhere down here.
that could be from the Hilton.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
The hospital.
There's the traveling wave.
Yeah.
Good picture of the antenna going up.
Yeah, it's a good, one of the better shots. I think these were all outtakes, not the ones that he kept, but the ones that he discarded. This is the power generator in the transmitter building. That's back up on the tower at the ham station.
Can't believe you climbed all the way up there.
Yeah. We've seen enough of that antenna going up.
Took it out.
This is working with the guy wires now. Pretty good size, I thought.
Freeform, how long that is.
These would be your pictures.
Yeah, they were all pre-cut lengths, yeah. With the anchors already welded.
The batwing laying in the ground.
Yeah. It's called butterfly, batwing.
Batwing is, or butterfly, they're all correct.
Yeah, it's got a number of nicknames.
It's interesting that the dipoles are loaded against the pole. It's
Yeah, this is inside the transmitter building, looking at the operating console with the transmitter in the far background in front of it. And to the right was the FM transmitter. The antenna switching panel. These you pulled off and moved around to whatever position, whatever antenna you wanted to feed to. Manually, of course. Which meant that the transmitters had to be off. This is the back side. I'm not sure of what this is here in the
that
foreground.
should be one of the coffee pots. The PAs.
Okay.
RCA,
Yeah, they had that, we call them the coffee pots.
red ball.
Same thing again.
There's your-
Water cooler.
Yeah, and you, with the coax cable above.
Cooler.
Another picture of the generator. This is looking from the console back towards the racks that were across the back of the room. Few pieces of equipment in there. I never worked there, so I have no idea. I went and visited once. Didn't give me enough of an education.
Is that a microphone?
I don't think so. You're looking at this down here? I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
The thing
Right.
on the right is a fluorescent light.
Yeah,
Oh, light.
Yeah.
yeah.
Desk lamp.
But it may have been-
Another view of the racks and the FM transmitter. So I'm pretty sure I got these left to right pretty correct,
Yeah,
because it was easy to do.
from the times I've been in there, I agree, they are right.
And we can tell the Tectronic scope,
Yeah,
it was always in the upper right.
yes, yeah. Tricks like that. Now also, what keyed me also is the typewriter that's on this table here. gave me the
Right.
right direction.
Carriage return on the left.
Ham gear, I guess. And
Motorola, GE.
more of the tower, more ham gear,
175, that's 6 meters.
more of the tower, more of the same ham gear.
I used to have 48.
That's Jack Jones, and I guess that's his car with his call letters as license plate.
It says W3 NTD, that was his last call. He's a silent key now.
No idea what that is.
Power supply.
Yeah, it looks like that these are AC receptacles.
And then there's a test mic jack down there, some power fuses, and
Yeah.
those are, those blue boxes would be, those nice relays,
It
keys.
says remote interlock. Intercom.
More of the same. Another view. Again, I'm not sure of the direction. That's Jim Hallowell. Got some stuff he's carrying up onto the tower. I was new. I'm assuming he was going up. This guy here is Frank Gallagher, which is called Young Kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know who he is, but he was there ahead of me. And I don't remember his name, but he's obviously under the Ham Club with his license plate the same. Same old thing again. More of the same. The guy cable. It was interesting to me to see the connector that was already on there for the anchor.
That's it.
And I think we're back at the beginning where I was.
Very good.